If you were in a position where you have to advise a CEO who might be hesitant about where they're going to invest or how they're going to invest in analytics or AI, what would be your conversation or your thought process in terms of that conversation?
Well, I think right now the answer to that is that you can't not. You can't not invest in this area. And one of the reasons for that is whether you do or don't, your staff are going to be using AI to make their lives easier and better. So you're going to find that people are going, slightly rogue and maybe working off their work laptops to use ChatGPT to make themselves more efficient, because we're in this really interesting space from an AI point of view where the operating model hasn't yet fully revealed itself to us. And we as human beings haven't, it's very much pervading both our personal lives and our professional lives. So organizations are changing whether you're making decisions to embrace it or not. So that's the first thing, is that you absolutely have to address this, and you have to think about doing it in the ways that David has just described, responsibly, with the appropriate guardrails in place, and with a workforce that is guided to become literate in the right ways. The other thing that I think I would say is the nature of what constitutes data is changing really rapidly, given the advances that we're seeing in AI. Yes. So we all have this sort of old idea of data being the zeros and ones, and it's all structured data and the things that exist in databases and all of that. And of course, now we're in this world where unstructured data is absolutely fair game in terms of what you can utilize, what you've got at your fingertips. One of the things that I'm absolutely loving seeing is just how granular people can get in terms of what's going on with their customers, because they are able to access unstructured data sources, conversations, emails, etc., and they're able to respond and react to that in ways that used to be much more instinctive. You were going on a feeling or a hunch about what was going on with your customers, whereas now you can actually drill into that from a truly data and empirical point of view. So yeah, I think you have to do it, and I think that you can think about it in new ways.
Yeah, I think that's a really interesting point about the data. The data isn't just noughts and ones anymore. And I often do that when I'm speaking to people. I often try and use words other than data, because it's information. Because data does often, to some people, it's sort of, there's a bit of a recoil, in terms of its numbers, it's zeros and ones. I don't get that. But you're absolutely right. It's all of the information, unstructured data. It's all sorts of organization, all sorts of data that will exist around an organization and elsewhere. And it's extracting the maximum value from all of that. And if you limit yourself to thinking about numbers, you're only going to be able to look at the surface story in that respect.